times.
International arbitration has developed into the dispute resolution mechanism of choice for transnational commercial matters. The depth and sophistication of arbitration knowledge and practices around the world has grown dramatically. In recent years, Singapore's convenient location, good legal system and neutrality have made it an arbitration venue of choice in the region. The arbitration process is constantly evolving to match the changing global business landscape. In particular, the rise of Asia as a key pillar in the world economy has led to the rapid growth of the arbitration industry. Arbitration is a dispute resolution process. Disputing parties present their case to an intermediary who examine the evidence and make a decision for the parties.
There are many sorts of commercial transactions in the world. There are joint ventures, there are technology transfer agreements, there are lots of international contracts, and these are being signed every day. From time to time the parties disagree in the implementation of a contract. A dispute arises. Of course, it's always best if the parties can resolve the dispute between themselves, but sometimes they can't, and they call upon a third party to issue a binding decision. And that's where arbitration comes into play. The arbitrator will hear both parties, will consider the evidence, apply the relevant legal principles, and will hand down an award, which is rather like a court judgment. But there's a big difference between an arbitral award and a court judgment. And that's this. There's an international convention, that's an international legal document, which has been signed by about 150 countries in the world. And that provides that an arbitral award is enforceable in all those countries. So if a Singaporean corporation gets an award against, let's say, an Australian corporation, it can enforce that award like a court judgment in 150 countries in the world. That's a fantastic facility available. That supports international commerce, because when parties enter into an international commercial transaction, they know that there is a legal system behind them which can deal with disputes, and when a decision is taken, that decision can be enforced.
Like court-based adjudication, arbitration is adversarial. Presentations are made to prove one side right, the other wrong. Arbitration is generally not as formal as court adjudication. However, and the rules can be altered to some extent to meet the parties' needs.
There's a very big difference between arbitration and litigation, and that is this. Litigation is public, it's open. There's nothing confidential about it. But most arbitrations are confidential. So the award's not made public, and the decision may not be widely known beyond the parties. The main role of arbitration is for international commercial disputes. The courts will still be important for domestic disputes. And what we're going to see are various different types of dispute resolution. There'll be mediation for some disputes. There'll be domestic litigation or litigation for domestic disputes. There'll be arbitration for international disputes, and there'll be new procedures of dispute resolution evolving. And all of them will have a place.
The International Court of Arbitration has ranked Singapore as the top city in Asia for ICC arbitrations and one of the 5 most popular ICC arbitration venues since 2000, alongside Paris, London, Geneva and Zurich. With its world-class ADR institutions and dispute resolution professionals, Singapore is recognized as the preferred venue for ADR in Asia.
Let's take a hypothetical case. Let's say that a corporation from California enters into a contract with an Indian corporation, and it's a joint venture. to build motor cars in India. So the Indians are going to provide the land and labour, and the Americans might provide the finance to construct this facility to build motor cars in India. Now, the parties want to provide for the management of disputes, and they agree that if they cannot amicably settle a dispute, they're going to go to arbitration. Well, they'll want to arbitrate in a neutral country. They'll prefer not to arbitrate in India or California, so I'll say neutral country. Well, where will they go? Well, somewhere geographically between India and the United States would be convenient. So that suggests Southeast Asia or East Asia. So they'll look around Southeast Asia or East Asia and say that's halfway in between roughly the United States and India. Where would you want to go? Well, you want to go to a place that has a court system that the parties have confidence in, where the judges have integrity and the judges will not disturb the arbitration, but they'll support the arbitration. That's a prime importance. You want to go to a place that's safe, comfortable, that has good links with the rest of the world, and Singapore is developing into a great service centre like London or perhaps Switzerland. Singapore is the obvious choice.
Maxwell Chambers is the world's first integrated dispute resolution complex housing hearing facilities and international arbitral institutions. There are custom designed and fully equipped hearing and preparation rooms available with a full suite of supporting services. The facilities can also be used for meetings, seminars and conferences. Businesses today increasingly operate in an international context. When disputes arise, many prefer alternative dispute resolution processes to litigation. ADR can bring about win-win outcomes that are enforceable in multiple jurisdictions. In Asia especially, with the maturing of markets and the growing sophistication of businesses, awareness and use of ADR has been rapidly rising. Well, that concludes this edition of Insight. I'm Gerard Lam. Thanks for watching.